there's a bigger issue here. Just because a group of people belong to the Federation, it does not mean that they are saints. The trouble is Earth. On Earth, there is no poverty, no crime, no war. You look out the window of Starfleet headquarters and you see paradise. Well, it's easy to be a saint in paradise. Out there, all the problems haven't been solved yet. Out there are no saints, just people. Angry, scared, determined people who are going to do whatever it takes to survive.
What I want to know is, out of all the stories you told me, which ones were true and which ones weren't?
My dear doctor, they're all true.
Even the lies.
Especially the lies.
On behalf of the Bajoran government
And the Promenade Merchants Association.
I officially welcome you to Deep Space Nine.
Welcome back to Especially the Lies, a Deep Space Nine podcast. For those of you who have no clue who the hell we are, how you found us, we're even more baffled than you are. We are a group of longtime fans of the Star Trek franchise who have convinced some of our friends who have somehow never seen Star Trek Deep Space Nine to watch it along with us week to week and offer their thoughts, their opinions, their feels, and even more than a few hot takes, inappropriate comments, random shenanigans, and downright interesting comments that really lead to a lot of editing fun.
Fuckery. The word you were looking for is fuckery.
That's the word. Yes, that is the word I'm looking for, is fuckery. That's exactly the way to describe some of this show. My name is Blake, and with me is...
Chris.
Nicole.
Emily.
And Christopher.
So we usually kick these things off with a synopsis, and before we get to that, I want to read a comment we've received. I would normally read a review, but y'all ain't leaving us reviews. We've asked nicely. If you're into it, we can get Jessi to ask not so nicely. If that's what some of y'all are into that get you to do it, I'm happy to ask her to ask a little more forcefully-ish. Maybe make that a Patreon exclusive where she's berating people into leaving reviews. Hey, if it works, we're willing to try it. But let's go with the comment that we got on Spotify. It's from Underclass H3R0. I am the far-right Star Trek fan this podcast despises. I listen to the podcast because of my love for DS9. I understand that there are old school fans that just want to hate on modern Trek. Some of it is earned, some of it isn't. Discovery was a fail to me, but I enjoy Strange New Worlds, and I actually ended up enjoying Academy. I hate that it got canceled. Episodes 5 through 10 are fantastic. Sam annoyed me, but she became more likable after episode 5. The issue with modern Trek really comes down to writing, not wokeness. First off, we don't despise far-right Star Trek fans. We don't necessarily understand you. We think there's a few chapters in the book that you maybe read a little differently than some of the rest of us, and maybe we're a little too fond of the Mirror Universe episodes, but despise might be a strong word. But you do hit on the point in that, as we've said, is the issues with these shows isn't wokeness. We've had our issues with it. Those of us that have watched the newer shows, we've all had various criticisms. I have ripped Discovery to shreds at times. There are issues we've identified with Academy. We don't mind when there's an issue you can point to and say, I didn't like this aspect. It's when you just use the buzzwords and the people that do that. But thanks for being a listener. We enjoy that you're along with us. And we're going to have a treat for our more far-right Star Trek fans. We're going to be doing an interview before too much longer with one of our longtime friends who is also a Star Trek fan and also a little bit on the right-hand side of things. So we'll be doing an interview with him, and he'll be joining us on the show. And we have a late arrival to our cast. Hi, Jessi.
Hi, sorry, I was playing Animal Crossing and I didn't realize what time it was.
Well, you missed my intro for you because I said that people aren't leaving us reviews despite us asking nicely. So
Fuck you bitches. Leave me some fucking shit, motherfuckers.
Well,
that's what we were looking for.
Yep,
that's
there
what
we
we were
go.
looking for, because I literally said that we were done asking nicely and we were going to have Jessi, for those whose kink was into that sort of thing, ask less than nicely.
Tell me how you really feel about me.
It wasn't about you. It was about some of our listeners.
Not you, them. Fuck them. They can fucking tell me how they really feel about me.
They might be afraid.
I'm just kidding.
To.
I fucking love our listeners. So 99% of them are amazing. So don't let me sit up here and cuss everybody out, because there's some really cool people. I'm fucking freezing, dude.
Well, I'm going to read 2 more Spotify comments that just happen to be on my screen now that you said that. First is from Crystal Haddix. Jessi is my fave. I'm sad when she
Yay.
can't visit. And the other is Marla Hutchison. As always, love the conversation and banter. I'm mostly here for Jessi, but the rest of you are acceptable.
Women love me, dude. I should be a
You know what?
lesbian,
I'll
but I
take
don't like
acceptable.
vagina.
On that note, let's go ahead and get our synopsis from our pretty much has become our standard writer of synopsises here on the show, Christopher.
Laxwana Troy shows up to DS9 and makes everybody, but the one who she really wants, horny. Julian wants Keiko to play racquetball with Miles. He needs a break. But O'Brien can't get out of his own way. And the Cisco men have problems with older women.
That's tame for you. Not your best work. We've heard better.
For such a horny episode, I'm really disappointed.
I've had better.
Wah, wah.
And that's why he's your ex.
Yes. That's only part of it, though.
So let's go ahead and jump in and get some first impressions. And on an episode like this, I have to start with Nicole for first impressions. Because she just loves love, and this one's got it all splashing all over the damn place.
Yeah, this was something. This was the horniest episode I think we've ever watched of anything ever. I was like, what the fuck?
Was this hornier than the telepath orgy in B5?
I think so. I think this is hornier than that. Yeah. I mean, this was I mean, there was no sex in it, but like it was pretty horny. So, first of all, I had to laugh at Jake being in love with Nerese, and Cisco's like, stop calling her Nerese. I was just cracking up. It was cute. And he was like, don't worry, Dad. It's okay. Like talking to Cisco like he's the child and Jake was like the adult. Like that was funny. Also, watching Cisco giggle like a schoolgirl when Dax was like all over him. I was cracking up at that. Barial, he's so creepy. I don't know why Kira likes him. And then him throwing himself at Dax is so creepy and gross. I did not like that. I also thought it was funny when he punched Cisco and then Cisco just blocked him like nothing. And then all of a sudden Dax kicked his ass. So that was good. But yeah, Kira and Bashir making out, that was weird. That was weird. I don't know how I feel about that. That was uncomfortable. But yeah, it was, again, usually I'm the shipper and I love all this, but I was so confused. Like, and then Quark, like, going after Keiko, I was like, what is happening? Then I'm like, okay, something is seriously wrong. And I did a headache count. Like, every time someone got a headache, I wrote their name down. And I was like, okay, so there's something going on with the headaches here. But I will say, I really liked that the O'Brien and Keiko dynamic. They were fighting and then they made up, and that was really sweet at the end with those two. And she looked phenomenal in that red dress, by the way. Now I know why he asked her to wear it, because she looked gorgeous. Dax also looked gorgeous in her purple dress. The women were really fronting on this episode. So, but yeah, it was, I'm still trying to process what I watched. So I really don't know what else to say, but what in the actual fuck about this episode?
I think it's funny you bring up Kira and Bashir making out.
It was uncomfortable. Like they were eating each other's faces. They weren't even making out. They were like, just
you know they were married, right?
No. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
we've talked about this.
Yes.
You're right. I forgot.
And Alexander Siddig were married.
Oh, okay. Well, now I guess it's not as weird.
They had a kid together and everything.
Ew.
Oh my God. How cute. I bet that kid is gorgeous, though, I will say. Yeah, it was just like, it made me like uncomfortable because it was like funny. Like it was like, oh, I shouldn't be watching this, but this is comical. That's kind of what it made me think of. But yeah, this is one hell of a fucking episode. All because of Laxana Troy, right? That's her name?
Yep.
That fucking bitch. Like, she just comes in and chaos.
Okay.
Although, I do want to go to this festival where I can write all my problems on a piece of paper and burn them and then just move forward. I think we should do our own gratitude festival because we all got fucking problems we need to get rid of.
Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that given the amount of problems on this show, the fire marshal might object.
It's called
us doing anything remotely like that.
We're not doing gratefulness. We're doing, let's talk about our fucking grievances.
Yeah, we write them on a paper and burn them. Yeah.
We're going to need a paper mill to do this.
True.
And a very big fire.
Be the size of Morn's grievances.
It's interesting because the Native Americans did a They do some of them. I'm not going to speak for all of them. Clearly, I'm not going to speak for any of them because I have 0% melatonin in my life, period. So, but I read about some kind of therapy that they like take stones and they give each stone a problem and they toss them into water. And it's supposed to be very effective. And then they keep one stone to remind themselves that, shit can always get weird.
I'm not sure I want to be around Jessie when she's throwing things for problems because I'd be afraid of where that thing would get thrown.
That's probably the fairest statement I've heard today.
So let's go ahead and get Chris's first impressions.
What's up, Chris?
Yeah, so I mean, it was a filler episode. I think it was supposed to be fun. I like Nicole, I thought it was just more weird and awkward. Bashir and Kira kissing, it was just smash face awkwardness. It was terrible. I felt like everybody who kissed anybody in this episode, it was just awkward and terrible. I don't know if it's because, as they said on Nip Tuck, everybody on this episode has villainous thin lips, but it just nothing seemed like it was a quality makeout session.
God damn it. To be nice.
Bird lips, bird chest and bird
Right.
lips.
Bird chest and bird lips across the board. It starts out with Jake sulking on a couch, dangling some phallic metal symbol above his face. From the beginning, it just threw me off. I did like Odo had one quote, and I don't remember it exactly, but he said something like, "I know who my people are, I know who I am, and I'm okay with it," or something like that. I love that line. I thought it was maybe the best part of the whole episode. But yeah, it was just this episode was just on some wild shit. I mean, everybody getting randy, getting horny, just going up. I also thought it was kind of weird, like uncomfortable, awkward when Dax was all over Cisco because like that's his homie, right? Like he said, he even called her old man while she was rubbing all up on him. I'm like, yeah, this is really, really kind of a weird situation. And then I got to thinking too, I'm like, okay, hypothetical, what if, right? Like if you know a shrill and the version that you were introduced to them or the life that you were introduced to them was as a man, and then they get reincarnated or put into this new body as a dime piece, as a smoking hot woman, and then that woman is all over you. Could you do it? Because I don't think I could do it. Like in my head, I'm like, yo, this is my guy right here. And like it's just I don't know. I just thought that was a really weird situation there. But she was stunting in that blue dress though. I'll say that. She was stunting on all them hoes on the DS9 station. She had the marking showing, going down to the chest meet. I'm like, okay, she knows what time it is. She's showing people what it is. But outside of the craziness, yeah, I didn't really too much care for it. It was again a filler episode to me, so fun with whatever you can get out of it, but I didn't really get a lot out of it.
Jessie, how about your first impressions?
It was fine.
It was fine. That's what we're gonna get.
It was fine. So before I knew what was going on, I was like, Jake is fucking jailbait. Like this little motherfucker is gonna get the wrong person in trouble. Because like, listen, there are men out there that like older women, and I can tell you, as now a single older woman, there are a lot of young ass dudes that are trying to like cougar it up, and I'm just not it, right? Like I just don't have the energy for a younger guy. I don't have the energy for an older guy. I have no energy right now. So let's just start there. But like, I'm watching this kid and I'm like, you little motherfucker, you're going to get somebody in trouble. Okay. Everybody else was gross. I didn't like Bashir kiss. I don't ever want to see a Bashir kiss anybody else in my life. It's fucking gross and it's weird and it's ugly and awkward. And what else can I call it? I just hate it a lot. The marriage thing triggered me a little bit because I saw a lot of me in that interaction. So that was fun. And it was fine. The whole thing was fine. I didn't hate it.
Not gonna lie, ever since your little rant around Jake dating a Dabo girl, we were discussing in the Prophets we couldn't wait until you saw the episode with Jake hitting on an older woman, his own self.
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, listen, older women are where it's at, okay? We're full of fucking surprises and experience and life events. So I can understand why a younger guy wants to date, but he's too fucking young for that. Like, go fucking find a high school girl. So fucking weird to me. It's weird. I don't care how mature you think you are. It's fucking.
And Christopher, your first impressions.
I enjoyed this episode.
What?
Yeah, you did.
It's it's not a great episode, right? It doesn't advance the story. It doesn't do any of the things that we're kind of looking for in this series that makes it different, but it gave us a little bit of world building and it gave us some story, like it kind of set up a little bit about Odo and Kira because they more than hinted at that a couple of times in this episode. And the O'Brien's situation, that was, to me, that was a highlight, and it's something that they've recalled several times. And I liked it. Look, it's not one that I'm gonna seek out, but if it's on, I think I'll probably watch it again. It was a fun light episode that I didn't really have to pay too much attention to just enjoy.
Fucking.
What was that?
I called him a fucking pervert.
That's better, because that we can hear on the audio. When you mumble it, it sucks to try to work it into the final cut.
I'm sorry. Ted's getting cuddles.
That's fine. Just cuddle Ted and we'll move on. For our listeners, we should probably point out Ted is a dog that she's actively cuddling.
Ted is my son. He is my biological son, first of all.
Well, that's not creepy in the least for the show considering the discussion.
Don't we look alike? Don't fucking
I'm
answer.
far away, but I'm not far enough away to answer that question.
Let's move on, goddamn.
So let's switch over to our longtime fans of the show and get their first impressions before we go completely off the rails and into batshittery. Emily.
It is honestly one of the horniest Trek episodes. And I remembered it being a horny episode. And then I watched it. I was like, oh, God damn, it's actually worse than I remember. But every time Waxana Troy shows up, there's always fucking shenanigans. Because that woman needs to get her hormones checked. Like, I think she needs to be seen by somebody. But it's her comment to Odo about, well, if you ever need a lap to melt in, really, woman? We know that's not what you actually meant. You are not talking about melting. Do not lie to us.
Something's gonna melt.
Right. It's really just a funny episode. It's lighthearted. There's not much of a purpose to it. I do agree that I appreciate that they keep the O'Brien's storyline going because they're one of the few married couples where you ever see anything, or like the only married couple. So keeping the consistency and showing that dynamic to kind of break up the absurdity of the rest of it was nice. And I thought it was funny that Brile tried to punch Cisco and Cisco just looked at him like a little bitch.
Yeah.
And then Dax just flattens him. Like, that's the man who punched a Q. Maybe think about your actions before you go throwing punches. There's no reason to start swinging. But I mean, it's fun. It's silly. It's pointless. We'll be hoping for a silly episode after next.
Shut up, Emily. God.
No, we won't. Next week is super fun.
I'm a prophet.
You love me.
I don't. Right.
Yes,
I do.
you do.
I do, but I do, but I don't like you. Well, my mom used to say, I love you, but I don't like you right now.
Okay, that's fair. I accept.
Wow. This show brings people together. It's
just
great,
wait till we have our girls' weekend.
It's coming up.
Next month.
Well, you all just have fun with that.
The boys aren't invited.
We kind of got that impression.
None of you are close enough anyway, and Mike's definitely not fucking coming. So,
okay.
I fully believe that Blake and Christopher would come if they were here, but yeah, Mike doesn't want that girl time.
Well, a chance to hang out and drink and bullshit with Jessi. I mean, who would turn that down?
I do it every day. That was a joke.
We'll put a disclaimer.
It's a joke. Anyway.
So this show, it had some loose connections and resemblance to Shakespeare with A Midsummer Night's Dream. And it's funny, Armin Shimmerman actually teaches Shakespeare. This is one of the episodes he absolutely hates because he felt it butchered Shakespeare. But I like the direction of this with Avery Brooks. I think he did a great job directing it. This show visually has some different pieces to it. They used a lot more the lighting, the color schemes. They used some colors that aren't typically seen in Star Trek. And Gene Roddenberry and some of the creatives never wanted purple, for example, to be in Star Trek because that was kind of the old school sci-fi color. So they played with different colors in this one. So there's some bits and pieces just on a production side that I find fascinating with this episode. But as far as the story itself, I agree with Emily. This is probably one of the horniest episodes of a show we've watched. And that does include, we watched the B5 episode, which to quote our friend Ryan from Down Under, it had the orgasm that radicalized the hippies. So that's saying something to say that this episode might be the horniest thing we've actually watched.
Fucking hated that episode.
But Loxana Troy tracks, I mean, anybody who watched Star Trek The Next Generation, how many men did she go after, including Riker, Picard, a whole slew of other men on the Enterprise that were guests? And
The list of who she didn't go after is probably shorter.
it is, which we could probably say she didn't go after Worf, Data, or Geordi. And that might be the list. Because Worf, she kept calling Mr. Woof. And yeah, I don't think, but she didn't know Data was fully functional either. So maybe that's why. So we'll figure that out. But Mrs. Troy shows up here and the same shenanigans and fuckery follow. And this can be a fun episode if you don't try to take it seriously or hold it within the larger scope of DS9. And I do think they're playing with this idea of there are some heavier episodes that have taken place this season. There are some heavier episodes coming up. So having some lighter episodes thrown in, I think helps. And I think that's one area some of the newer Star Trek shows struggle a little bit is they go such heavy content that they don't always put something in to lighten it, or when they do, it just doesn't land because they're on such a compressed timeline. And kind of as Christopher said, I'm not going to seek this episode out. I'm going to be honest and say I actually didn't watch it this week. I read the synopsis for it and the details off Memory Alpha. I just flat ass did not have time with everything I had going this past week to actually manage to watch this show. Jessi, don't fucking judge me.
Fucking
Notice.
slacker.
I'm gonna fucking do that with the next episode then. Fuck you guys. I'm just gonna read the synopsis.
Do not read the synopsis.
I read the synopsis page you can't read. It was quicker than watching it.
And it's not that
And
important
again,
of an
I've seen this show a
episode.
lot more than some of you have. I can get away with it.
Yeah.
Me.
Okay, Beaker.
The next show we do, I want to fucking be one of the first prophets.
Well, it makes you think we're going to do this for a third goddamn time.
Oh, we're gonna do Babylon 5 again.
I haven't seen The West Wing. I thought we were going to do that.
Oh, yeah, we
that
have.
one either.
Ooh.
We have talked about that.
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
Oh boy. God damn it. Now you're
Did
making
you
me
see-
think that could be fun.
Did you see those two fucking fucks? The other two fucking fucks that we had on the show.
But I'd say you're going to have to narrow down.
I was going to say, that's
on this
really
show.
not.
They're the ones that do their show, Brent and whatever the fuck the other one's name was.
Oh, yeah, those two.
Did you see that they're doing Grey 17 for the second time?
Oh, they're doing B5 again?
Yep.
Well, good for them.
Oh, not Grey 17. We did Grey 17.
Yeah,
They
that
did
was our
Grey
show.
17. It
But
was.
then again, the amount of shit of ours they copied.
They're doing Babylon 5 for the second.
Well, good for those two.
Yeah, I haven't listened to it because you know what? I didn't listen to their first
Yeah, they
one.
annoyed Scott and I greatly.
Well, Scott annoyed me, so we're here.
Jesse,
didn't annoy
speaking of lists
Scott?
that might be shorter for the who hasn't, the list of people who haven't annoyed you may actually be shorter.
No, Emily hasn't, and Nicole hasn't. Chris hasn't. There's more of a short list of people who have on this show right now than there are that have not.
I was just speaking people in generally since we were opening
Oh.
outside this show.
Sorry. Yeah, people in general just piss me off anyway, so it's fine.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and jump into some discussion on the episode now that we've addressed how many people piss Jesse off on a regular basis. And who wants to kick us off?
I'll go.
Please do.
I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about Jake's crush on Kira and just get this out of the way because on our episode where he's dating Marta, we had a lot of conversation about that and a lot of comments have come about that. But I don't think that there was anything wrong in this one. It's almost like when they're walking by, it's almost like it was kind of having Cupid's arrow shot and they're falling for basically whomever they see. You know, I know at the end they said it's whoever. He had a little bit of latent attraction to them. But kids are going to have crushes on like teachers, authority figures. This is kind of in that realm. And the way that they handle it in this episode, where Kira's just like, Jake, I don't have time to deal with this. I don't have time to deal with you. And she goes and she tells his dad, like right away. And he's like, Jake, what are you doing? You're going to get hurt. I don't want to see you get hurt. Focus on something else. And I think that in this circumstance, they play it off as a little crush and it's innocent. And the adults aren't taking it seriously. They aren't taking it as, oh, Jake's an option for Kira, right? They're not doing that. So I had
This
no
time,
problem with
thank
it.
God.
Yeah, I had no problem with it in this episode.
Nicole.
Yeah, it reminded me of being like a teenage girl and having a crush on like your cousin's friend or your older brother's friend, or like all had crushes when we were younger on somebody who was older than us. And that's all it was an innocent little crush. It wasn't like anything more than that. And I thought it was kind of funny because when he sat her down and was like, "Oh, I need some advice. I have a crush on an older woman." And she's like, "Oh, just tell Marta how you feel." And he goes, "Oh, we broke up. It's you. I love you. Will you go out with me?" And she was like, what?" Like, it was, first of all, he had the balls to say, "I have a crush on you," which I never did when I was younger. But it was obviously it was the virus or whatever, but it was just kind of funny. It reminded me of like, yeah, like a little schoolgirl crush on somebody who was older or whatever. Obviously, like they weren't trying to marry off Jake to Kira, and it she told his dad and he addressed it. And I thought about like, oh my gosh, how many older boys did I have crushes on that I probably shouldn't have? And thank God I never told them like Jake did, because that would have been embarrassing as shit.
Jessi.
Correct that most children do have crushes on older people, but most children do not hit on the older people. And Jake was giving me real mommy issue vibes. And if you find the wrong mommy, they will act on it. So yes, Kira did act completely appropriately this time. The Dabo girl, not so fucking much. Like, I do not appreciate, like, yes, there are certain things that will draw a child to women, boobs, and things, right? But like acting appropriately, I agree with Christopher because yes, she did act. She like this there was nothing wrong with this except when I didn't know it was a virus. I was like, this kid is gonna get somebody in fucking prison. Like he's walking himself right down a fucking path to find a mommy that isn't gonna have the morals that Kira does, and we're gonna have a problem. But I'm glad it was a virus, and I will see what his next girlfriend's age is because I'm sure it won't be fucking appropriate.
Okay. We knew you were going to have some thoughts and feels on this one.
I'm just glad that she didn't fucking act on it, dude. What if she had gotten the virus with him and they were making out? Dude, that would have been fucking weird.
Right,
Okay?
but she would have had to have had some sort of latent attraction to him, and then that would have been something that would have been really problematic.
Yes.
I also don't think a TV show is going to actively demonstrate an adult and a child making out either. I would think
It's
well,
happened.
not this
Over.
television
And-
show, but you know what I mean. It's not an episode of Law and Order SVU, guys, okay? It's
Right.
DS9. But like, I didn't think this would be the environment where they would have that kind of dynamic.
And I will note, because this came up on our Discord discussion, and we had another comment come in via email on this we have listeners all over the world. And there was actually some pretty good discussion in Discord on this, and it, like I said, echoed in an email, that while many of our people on the show here, as well as American listeners, see the problem with that age gap between Jake and Marta. But within our European listeners, they see no issue at all with it, and they're like, what the fuck's y'all's big deal with this?
It's an adult and a child. That's what the big fucking deal is. It is a child. Ugh.
But most European countries' laws
Doesn't mean it's right. I listen, I understand that, and I say this to
but
my
even
listen,
culturally, it's a whole, like, that's what the comment has come from a lot of our listeners, is there's many different ways this gets looked at, and even the laws there have a certain maturity component as well. They said it's still illegal to exploit someone who's a minor,
right.
but there is an allowance based on you could have a minor who makes the choice to have that relationship, or not minor by our context, but someone of that age.
Okay, so now's a good time to have this conversation because this is going to come out way after Friday, and Friday is my last day at my job. So let's just put it out there. I want everybody to know I'm a defense attorney. Just fucking kidding. Don't insult me like that. So drum roll, please. Da, 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 da. I'm a federal probation officer. Parole is what most of you know it as, the people that are coming out of prison. And I am more specifically a sex offender officer. So I have a giant portion of people on my caseload who have committed offenses against children. So that is why it fucking pisses me off. I don't care their maturity. I don't care how fucking immature the adult is. I don't care I don't give a fuck about any of that. Your brain is not fully developed until you are like 25 years old. So while America right now is talking about lowering the age of consent, I don't fucking agree with it because little children is what they are walking around emotionally unregulated. They cannot make the right decisions if to save their lives. That's why they have parents that are supposed to be watching them. I don't give a fuck how mature the fucking 15-year-old is. I don't fucking care.
For
It's a
the record,
child.
walking around emotionally unregulated and stupid could also apply to the Proud Boys.
Correct. But you know what? And that's the thing is like here's fucking grown ass people walk around unregulated. You don't make good decisions, but you specifically need to be supervised. I would argue until you're about 20 fucking 4 years old to not do anything impulsive or crazy. But like these fucking children, I don't like to have a conversation about cultural beliefs or maturity. That's a fucking kid. And dude, if you're attracted to a kid when you're fucking 30 years old, there's fucking problems. And I have these conversations with my guys, and I say all the time, just because it's legal doesn't mean it's right. So like if you're 30 fucking 5 years old and dating an 18-year-old, I don't give a fuck how mature that 18-year-old is. What do you have in common with a kid?
But
Okay.
I think you're taking the age gap too far because we're not talking a 16 and a 35-year-old in the context of the show.
Okay, so
We're
what's a
talking to
20
different,
year old and a 15-year-old have in common?
but again, you're taking the age gap way outside of the bounds of where it's at in the show. And I get where you're professionally coming from,
Correct.
but when you're
How
looking within the context of the show and the
how
age
old is
gap
she?
they presented is, I believe in the show she was 19, 20, Jake's around 16, 17. So it's about a 3 to 4 year old age difference.
I thought Jake was 15.
No.
Jake, in the Marta episode, he
Hmm.
was 16, she was 20.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's still to me, that's too much. Like, and
But you're
I
talking basically the difference in what could be a high school freshman and a college freshman at that point.
correct. You're
Which,
in
when you
college
have high
and
school students doing dual enrollment in community colleges,
hmm
it's not out of the realm for these folks to interact. There was nothing in the episode that indicated it was sexual in any way, shape, or form.
not yet. Listen, I don't
And
give a
I
shit
mean,
what the
and even when
show.
I did dual enrollment when I was in high school and I was dual enrolled at the local community college, I made friends and socialized with people at the community college level.
That's fine. You're making friends with them. He was dating her. She's 20 years old, right? And like, listen, a high school freshman and a college freshman are ages apart in maturity because that's you're in college versus you were in eighth grade last year. You were literally in eighth grade, and you're not a fucking college. Most people are not college freshmen at 20. I was a sophomore in college at that age. Like, come the fuck on. Your life experience is vastly different. You literally were you're, I don't care. I just, there's not, this is why it bothers me so much because there's never going to be a situation where I see a 20-year-old and think, oh, it's okay for you to date a 16-year-old. I used to see that in high school. When I was in eighth grade, these high school, older senior guys would pick up these eighth grade fucking girls. I have a problem with it. It's fucking gross. And your life experience at that point is vastly different. Maturity levels in freshmen versus even seniors in high school are extremely different. And you may be talking about 15 to 18, right? And like that's the Romeo and Juliet shit that these fucking guys that I supervise will pitch to people that don't know them. Oh, well, I have a sex offense because I was 19 and she was 15. No, you have a sex offense because you were 30 fucking years old and the child was 12. That is not the same thing. And I
No,
hear
it's, and I'm not saying it
no,
is.
I know you're not. I know you're not. And I know most of our listeners aren't either. But like I will make a case against a fucking 20-year-old dating a 15 or 16-year-old all day long also. It's a difference in maturity. It's fucking weird and gross. And if you can't go out and get yourself a fucking 19 or 20-year-old, then stop fucking dating until somebody likes you.
I knew we could get Jessi going on this
Well, and that's
episode.
that's the thing is they used to say, oh well, it used to be the acceptable age for like fuck. In the early 1800s, people were having kids at 14 and 15. I still don't fucking think that's okay.
Ah, how easy it is to get Jessi going.
It is. Listen, you talk about fucking kids, and I'm gonna be pissed off. I'm always mad about it. I'm always mad when adults try to fuck children. It pisses me off.
I love
I
how
don't
the only
care
one bringing up adults fucking kids though is Jessi. It was not actually in the show.
because that's what I do for a job. Like you cannot convince me otherwise because I have seen the worst of the fucking worst. So you cannot convince me because here's the thing is while the person is 20 dating a 15 or 16-year-old, that person turns 21, then they turn 30, then they turn 40, and they still keep trying to fuck the same year old kids, and it's icky. I hate it. You don't have to edit any of that out either because I'm about to be done.
Oh, good. I can quit asking what to edit. Because
Friday's
I
my
will
last.
say Jesse did comment this in our Patreon, I believe is where you put it.
Mhm.
Scott and I have gone through great lengths over the
Mhm.
course of Gray 17 and especially The Lies to edit things out at times when Jesse has gone on rants and then all of a sudden went, oh shit.
Can't say that because I can't put that shit out there, but
It's
now I
like
can. I don't care. Like, listen, there
there
are
have been
some.
other times where Jesse hasn't caught it and we've been editing and we've had to go back and go,
Mhm.
so Jesse, should we really
Yeah.
leave that in?
Yeah. Dude, Scott and Blake have spent hours. And I would probably guess that it's about weeks at this point trying to save my career. And but it's because I have some clearly strong opinions on some really wild shit. I do my job because people want to act like it doesn't exist. And that's why I've done my job for fucking shit. At this point, I've been in this fucking job for 14 years and I'm about to walk away from it for the rest of my life, and I could not be happier.
I think my favorite though was the episode where we got on a sidetrack rant. You were talking about one of your might even have been when we were all for Scott's memorial or something, but you were talking about you let Nicole handle a firearm that you
Oh,
had unloaded
I pew
and
pew.
you
That
had
was my
cleared,
personal though. It's
but
okay. Listen,
but you
I
didn't
don't.
specify that on the show. So I
Yeah.
actually messaged Jesse in the after as I was listening and went, so Jesse, do you really want me to leave in the show that you let someone handle a firearm?
Oh yeah. I'm not worried about that. That was my personal. And you know what? Although Nicole is a felon and I'm not supposed to let her have guns,
I'm not a
I'm kidding.
felon. I can't wait to play with another gun.
I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I'll make sure it's cleared this again. But no, that stuff doesn't bother me. My duty weapon stays in my safe at work, and I don't take my PPU out unless I'm working. So,
So at least now the editing might get a little easier because I
hmm
not by much,
Mm-hmm.
but at least I won't have rants that then end in, oh shit, cut that out.
Yep. No, I'm not. That's the thing is, it's not that I've ever been. It's not that I've ever been ashamed or, I just don't want to be in court one day having to testify as to why I went on a rant about why people shouldn't fuck children when I supervise a bunch of people that fuck kids. So, it would have looked bad. So now that we're done with that, we can just move on.
And
Now,
for
if I
those who
do,
wondered why I made the comment in our Patreon about how we don't want a lawyer on this show because we want representation, not a material witness.
yeah,
Now you understand why we all understand the legal profession just a little bit more than we all
correct.
think we should for a bunch of dumbasses on the internet.
Correct. We work with them a lot.
Yes, we do.
When somebody suggested on Discord that I was a defense attorney, I straight up said, please do not insult me like that. I have morals. And I stand by that. Fuck you guys.
So let's get back to our discussion of this episode. And anyone else want to jump in on this one?
Can we talk about Miles and Keiko? Because, first of all, Keiko calls him O'Brien and it fucking creeps me out. Like, that's a very impersonal thing to call somebody. And she's like, something, something O'Brien. And I looked and I was like, wait a minute, doesn't she usually call him Miles? So, the whole thing about, let me just give everybody a little bit of advice out there. If you don't already know this, don't talk to the opposite sex about your fucking marriage problems because it can come off as very weird when you're the individual on the other end listening to your partner talk about, oh, well, I talked to my female friend and blah, blah, blah. Why the fuck are you talking to another woman about our problem? That was always one of my issues. And I sat there and I felt every bit of fucking frustration that O'Brien was feeling at that moment. Like, I've always made it a rule not to talk to I lie. I have a male best friend, but he's like my brother, so it doesn't really matter. But that's to me, like if it was some guy that I was attracted to or some guy that I had just didn't even know before I got married to said person, I would have been really fucking wrong to be like, oh yeah, my husband doesn't like to do this and doesn't do this and doesn't treat me like this. That's fucking weird. Because then that opens a door for other people to slide right in. And that is, friends, how prisoners end up pulling fucking female guards all the time, by the way.
So I want to go on this one. You mentioned calling someone by their last name is so impersonal. And
It
speaking
can
of
be.
things that we have spent a shit ton of time fucking editing out in this show, the only time we ever refer to Christopher as Christopher is this goddamn show, and the number of times each and every
Yes.
one of us on here have not referred to him as
Fuck
that.
that up.
Because he's never been Christopher. Christopher's
It's
so weird
too
and
long of a
formal.
name.
Like it's just it makes me feel like I don't know him when I call him by his first fucking name. Like that's funny that
Right?
you say that because that's 100% what happens with him. But I don't call Emily, but I don't half the time I don't even fucking know Emily's last name. I have to go and like think about it. And like Nicole, don't call her by her last name either. Like don't call Blake even by his first name.
Nobody can say my last name, to be fair.
Well, I mean, if you know you for 30 years, you can, but
Just Kegs.
it's just Cags. Yeah, right.
That was the easier version.
I just like we call each other at work by our last names because that's just like what we do. But like when I heard her call him that, I was like, ooh, that's very, very impersonal. And then they just acted
I
like
don't, I mean, it depends on the situation. Like, my wife will call me by my last name sometimes, and
everybody
it's
calls you by your last name. Like that's probably how she met you. That was probably what you were introduced to. Like I
yeah.
literally wouldn't have known your whole full first name if you hadn't made me call it on this show. I
My
always
mother
knew
was
you,
surprised that wasn't your first name, actually.
right? Because it could be, I guess. Like, I mean, that would be an appropriate first name.
Yes.
But you guys, I don't know. Have you ever called me by my maiden last name? I don't think so.
But have I called you by your last name? Yeah.
What's my new last name, Christopher? Do you even know?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. Well, let's not.
And
You're
I
still
can
at my
pronounce it
phone
the way
with,
that it needs to be.
yeah. And you're still on my phone with your maiden name, by the way.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, that's how you're in mine too. I never changed it.
It's okay. I didn't go back to it, but it's more relevant now than it was before.
But I liked the storyline between Keiko and Miles. I thought it was good. And while I was sitting and watching the episode this afternoon, sitting there with my wife, we just looked at each other and just was like, dude, just let her go take a nap. Let her go to sleep. Let her get some
Yes.
rest. For the love of fucking God, man.
She
Like,
needs a
just
nap
let
and a
her-
snack.
Let her rest, take care of the kid for a little bit, and then go and make the best use of the rest of the time that you have together and stop trying to put 4 months worth of family time and making sure that everything is so damn planned out. Just be there with her. Cuddle up with her on the couch, O'Brien, and just be with her. You're gonna make matters worse. You're fucking it up more by saying, I don't give a shit what you do. Like, God, like he's trying to get a divorce.
They said it's a 26-hour festival. They could have easily worked in a nap. They could have worked in a little bit of side action and still made the festival.
Right. And not like you have to go at the very beginning of Cirque du Soleil in order to enjoy the thing.
Well, no, that you kind of have to, or they will give your seats away.
No, I'm talking about how they had like the people like the jugglers and the acrobats that they had that were roaming around in the episode in the festival.
Nicole.
I thought that the dynamic between O'Brien and Keiko was very like realistic and relatable because a lot of couples will fight and a lot of couples will have those kind of bickering. Like clearly she needs sleep and he, I get that he was like excited to see her. Like I feel like they kind of went through the gamut of it all. They fought, they bickered, they compromised, they had their sweet moment at their table, and then he got jealous. Like these are all things that like can happen and are happen in relationships but ultimately he realizes that like he was being an idiot and he apologized and he really tried to prove to her like, hey, I'm in this, I don't want to lose you, and made like a really unselfish decision to walk away and go with her if that's what she wants. And I think that kind of like showed her like how much he really loved her. And I just thought it was really sweet. And I thought like out of all the couples you see on TV, like it's not always as realistic, right? Like they actually, some of their like bickering and the issues they were having are things that every couple goes through, every relationship has. So I thought it was really sweet and relatable and kind of nice to kind of see that on screen and then see it resolve in a positive way. They ended up making the best of their time and spending time together and leaving on a high note. And it's hard, like I've been in a long distance relationship and it's hard when your partner doesn't live here. And I get that he was wanting to like maximize the time. So I understand where he was coming from, but I think he just kind of got ahead of himself and he realized that at the end, like, okay, wait a second, I'm kind of overreacting. And yeah, I really appreciated that whole dynamic. And for once, O'Brien didn't fully suffer. He just slightly suffered in this one.
Jessi.
So Nicole brought it up because I exactly understand the desire to want to put all of the things into a very short time when you're long distance because we used to, so after we got married, he moved out to DC for his job and we would only get a couple days at a time every couple months. And it was like, I wanted to put all of the things into those couple days. And then when I took the job in this district, I moved and he still lived in the Quad Cities and I would only see him on weekends. So we really only had like one day to spend time together. So you like want to squeeze everything into the little bit of time. So I completely understood him wanting to be like, oh, let's go do this, let's go do this, let's go do this. But everybody said it like she was clearly exhausted. She's been taking care of a kid and working probably more than a full-time job for 3 or 4 entire months. And all she wanted to do was relax. And he's like, well, it's just been me here kicking it and playing fucking whatever ball they play with Bashir and like doing whatever he wants to. So I get his mentality, but she clearly needed something to eat and something to sleep on. So get that too.
Christopher.
I kind of got the feeling that if this relationship is salvageable, that he wasn't going to be able to save it this weekend with the problem. I think there's still some issues that they're having that they're going to have to continue to work through. But it certainly seemed like he could have ended it on that trip. Like it seemed like that seemed to be the highest stakes of this episode was that he very easily could have gotten divorced that episode. Because like when she said that after he professed his love to her and apologized and everything, and she was like, I need time, and she didn't come out of that room right away, which I'm glad they didn't do because like that's right. That is, you fucked up. You've just said words. I need time to think. I don't like where things are at. I need time to really think that if this is something that is worth saving. And when she pulls up to the party in the wardroom and she's in that dress, and after he's just sitting there like commiserating with Jake, where he's like, you know, she is generally they're more trouble than you're than they're worth. He's totally lost. He totally thinks that his marriage is over, and then she shows up, and you get to have this sweet moment for about 10 seconds before Odo starts rubbing his ears on her.
Quark.
Or Quark. Yes, not Odo.
Jessi.
You're on mute.
I know, I forgot to take my hand down. I was trying to tell you no. I'm fine. Everything's good.
Okay. So anything else for our discussion of this episode? And Jessi, you're nodding your head.
Yes, I do.
Then why the hell didn't you say it when you had your hand up and said no? God damn.
Everybody loves me on this podcast except you, Blake. Be nice to. So I just let's go back to the first time that I said that Kira and Odo were going to get together. And Emily had this fucking oh shit look on her face. Like she didn't want to tell me that I was right. And I cannot wait to go back to the fucking whatever the fuck you guys call after the show where you talk shit about us and listen to that specific episode because almost everybody had the fucking look on their face when I called it. But like Emily specifically gave it away, and she didn't ruin it. It's not a spoiler, but it's coming, people. It's
Are you
fucking
sure?
coming. Yes, I'm 100% sure. Don't gaslight me. I fucking know. Listen, I know this is happening, and if I'm wrong, I will buy you an ice cream. But I don't think I'm gonna end up buying you ice cream. I think that
Whitey sounds yummy.
yeah. Well, I think that you're gonna end up fucking being like, "Hey, I told you, yeah, you gaslighting motherfuckers." This is like the Angel Wings episode, except fucking not as bad.
Look,
Angel
Jessi, I
wings.
agree with you because Kira, like the way that she looked at Barial when they first were like alone together and they started talking about Kai Wynn, and he's like, "Oh, she's not really that bad." Like everything like dried up right there for Kira, and she walked away. Like that was the end of it for Kira, I think. I don't think she realizes it yet, but they're done.
Yeah, supporting a fascist can really dry things up in a hurry.
Okay.
Just
Oh
saying.
no.
Chris, you've been mighty quiet this episode.
He has.
He's not listening to us.
I'm listening. I'm just letting y'all handle it.
Can we just talk about the bird lips thing that you said? That was not very nice. Not
I
everybody's
said I said thin villainous lips. I
well,
didn't say
not
bird
everybody's
lips.
lucky enough to have luscious lips, Chris. Okay.
No, you don't have to be luscious, but I don't know. They just seem like all the kids. Maybe it was just me over exaggerating in my own mind because all the kissing scenes were hella awkward.
They were. That's fair.
Oh, they were.
I wasn't feeling it.
Blake, you said that Avery Brooks directed this episode.
Yes.
And that was the direction that he gave
Correct.
to them because that was the most awkward.
Yeah, did he give himself the direction to giggle like schoolgirl?
Mhm.
Okay. Don't tell me you didn't like that little giggle.
Oh no, it was cute. I kind of thought for a second, I'm like, is he gonna go for it? Is he gonna go for it? I'm like, I kind of want them to get it in. Like, but like, yeah, look, that's his friend technically up in there. Like, it might be kind of weird because he calls her old man all the time. I don't know, but
Please,
for a
let's not
second,
get back into that discussion.
no, but
That
for a
was not
second,
the one that I was.
no, I just was like, for a second, I thought they were gonna go for it, but no, he was adorable, by the way. Like his little giggle, like it was cute.
The awkwardness between Bashir and Kira, and that was the best take that they could come up with.
They
Was
now that I
was when
know,
he was like, "Hey, this is what I want you to do. Like, just attack one another, maul one another."
well, and now that I know
And
that they're
don't
married and they have a kid, it's even funnier and more awkward because like they
make
totally
it as
made it
awkward as
like,
possible.
yeah, like they probably had so much fun doing that
Were
too.
they
Like,
married during the scene, or maybe that's what started it?
So they married in 97. This show came out in 94.
And
oh,
we're in
okay,
the
so it was after.
Yeah. Now, I don't know when exactly they got together. They were married in 97.
Okay, but we're in season 3. Oh,
Never mind. I can't comment on the thing that just carry on. Y'all don't need to know. It's fine. Emily knows what I'm referring to.
You know we don't know what we don't know, right? Like you guys are always like, "Oh my gosh, they ruined it," and like we
No,
don't
I'll
even
actually
know.
give something away if I say this because the thing with the thing that happens in the thing, well,
Where's Prentice at? Because Prentice will give it to us. Where is
Yeah, where's Prentice when we need him?
oh, I think I know the thing.
yes,
Oh my God. You guys have a whole fucking show after this. Talk about the thing after that.
we will, goddammit.
I hate you guys.
We know.
That's fine.
We love you too, Jessi.
No, you don't.
Well, I think we have pretty much hit all of our discussion points on this one, so let's go ahead and grab some questions, predictions. We'll get you the fuck out of here.
Yes.
We'll make fun of you, answer all the things, talk about the thing and the thing with the thing, just because Jessi loves it so much when we do.
God, I used to hate when Scott did this shit.
I know. And you know how much we enjoyed doing it?
You gaslighting motherfucker.
See, I learned a lot about hosting, haven't I?
Yeah.
I've just picked this right up.
Yeah. Fuck you
All right,
guys
Jessi, got any questions?
No.
Predictions?
both. None. Nope.
Christopher, questions and predictions.
So they mentioned the Dominion again. So when are they coming back into play? You don't keep mentioning someone who can like destroy your entire world without it coming back to pay off. So when is the Dominion coming back to blow some shit up? Barial and Kira are going to break up. Jake is going to apply to the Science Academy to try to go get back with Marta. And this won't be the last time that we see Black Swan. She's going to come back and ruin things again.
Nicole.
Well, my question was, does Barial and Kira break up? Because after all that happened, how do you go back? You know what I mean? So do they stay together? And then really, other than that, that was all I had.
And Chris.
Yeah, is the virus riddled old Biddy gonna come back to the station and get everybody all fucked up again? I definitely think Oda or Kira and Barial are breaking up. So I guess you can add that. Yeah, are they going to stay together? Are they not? No, I don't think so. But the
Y'all
like I
don't
said,
see
this was
wedding bells for them?
no. My man need to do some more push-ups. He needs to get his head out of his ass before I think Kira would go for that. But yeah, that's what I got.
All right.
So I think that takes care of this episode for us. We will be back as we are watching week to week with this show, just like when it came out. I know for a fact that we're not binge watching this drives some of our cast crazy. I also know that we have at least one of our cast members who has their partner who has messaged me and says, God damn it, would you all hurry up? I want to watch more.
I know whose
Nope.
partner that was. There's only one partner that would do that.
Yep. I'm not naming names. I'm just saying there's one. And yes, I've had a message from them. And yes, sorry.
Sorry,
I
no
did
can
invite them to come
doozies.
on the show and join with the fuckery and was told not their thing. But I offered.
Fair.
Because that could be a fun dynamic.
She's off a little. Be careful what you say.
If you want to join in the conversation, you can find our social media links down below. You can also find the link to our Patreon, which if you join that at any level, gets you access to our Discord server. We have all sorts of batshittery on Discord. We have a rather active conspiracy corner with Jessi. We have a whole lot of smut with Emily. And Nicole has a corner of complete random whatever.
Whatever's floating her boat.
Whatever's floating her boat from time to time in Nicole's random little corner. What, nothing out of Nicole when I comment on your random corner of Discord?
I mean, it's not a corner on the street, so we're good. It's just a corner on Discord.
I mean, we don't judge.
We
$20 is $20, Nicole. Do what you
You know,
gotta
I'm not there yet, but give me a couple months, we'll see.
Shit with grocery prices.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I drove by a gas station earlier. Goddamn. So go ahead and feel free to join in on those. As we said at the start of the show, we would really appreciate getting some more reviews, especially on Apple. That's the one that actually helps us out the most. 5-star reviews are preferred. In a review that you actually leave us a note, we will read here on the show. If asking nicely for you to give us reviews isn't your thing, we're not here to kink shame, but we are willing to have Jessi berate you into leaving us a review. If that's your thing, let us know. We'll have her do it. She's got some spare time on her hands, as you heard on the show, so we can even make these personalized if we need to drop them on Patreon and Discord with Jessi berating you into giving us reviews. We'll try it.
I learned about a new kink the other day.
Oh,
It involves gamer boys who want to be called a good boy. It's fucking weird, but you know what? If you'll pay me enough money, I too will call you a good boy.
in certain circles, that's not new.
Well, listen. Okay. I'd like to not have this conversation anymore.
Please don't.
And on that note, I have been your host, Blake, and with me has been
Chris.
Nicole.
Emily.
Christopher.
And Jessi.
Thank you for listening to Especially the Lies, a Deep Space Nine podcast. You can find all the places to listen to and watch this podcast by searching for Especially the Lies on your podcast app or on YouTube. We want to hear from you, so join the conversation at Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Be sure to subscribe and leave a review where you are listening to or watching this podcast. Especially the Lies is not affiliated with, and the podcast has not been prepared, approved, or licensed by Paramount or any other owners of the Star Trek copyright. All clips included in this podcast are the intellectual property of the respected copyright holders. They are included here for purposes of review, and no infringement is intended.
Why have you brought me here? Show yourselves. What do you want?
The Cisco has returned to us.
He arrives with questions.
There are always questions.
Oh, crap. I forgot to tell them what we'll be back with next week.
We'll be back next week with Past Tense, episodes 1 and 2.
And for those, and actually, it's probably a good thing we got rid of them for this, because we've talked about this, we've said this, and the newbies would probably ask too many questions if we had this discussion with them. But this is an episode that Scott said from day one of starting this, he was looking forward to. This is probably one of his top 10 episode sets in Star Trek, was Past Tense 1 and 2. But he was also looking forward to it because he knows the social commentary that this show has had. And we're not always full of fuckery, batshittery, and shenanigans. We've actually had some very decent commentary at some very unexpected times. I mean, we've had some very deep discussions throughout Grey 17 and this on topics such as capital punishment, on the justice system, and other things. And Scott was really looking forward to seeing where the discussion on these two episodes could go. And it's going to be an interesting ride guiding the conversation through these two episodes. But we're going to do it.
Well, yeah,
And
we'll do
prepared for the
it.
thoughts and the feels.
I don't want to have thoughts and feelings.
I know, every now and then we have to.
I know, but I prefer to just snack my way through them instead of feel them.
So let's go ahead and jump through all of our, 3 questions?
Yeah, pretty much. There's not a whole lot of anything.
Yeah, let's run down the list and get out of here.
All right, Christopher wants to know when the Dominion comes back. They come back.
Season 4.
Yeah.
Well, there'll be that. I think there's that one episode where Bashir and O'Brien. That's in 3.
I just shut down the list. Let me check real quick. Past tense, life support, Heart of Stone. Oh, yeah. You get the Dominion lady, but
Daya's cast will be Improbable Cause. Daya's cast. We'll have the Founders.
the adversary. The end of season 3 where they think there's a changeling on the ship.
Mm-hmm. So we'll start to get a bit more as we go through.
Yeah. Everyone thinks Brian and Kira will break up. Man,
Well,
they
sort of. I mean, he dies.
right?
That's a real bummer on a relationship.
I mean, yeah. I'll be interested to see how they feel about that since they obviously want them to break up. They want Kira and Odo to be together, which is still ways out. It will be interesting to see how they react to that being the end of Brian and Kira, because I don't think any of them expect that. And it's also a Kai Wynn episode, which she always makes people have the feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily happy feelings, but feelings.
You do have feelings.
We do. I've missed her.
Well, we'll be getting more of her as we go.
I know. It'll be
All
good.
right.
I did appreciate Christopher's prediction that Jake will apply to the Science Academy to try to follow Marta.
Nope, he's going to become a writer and have another fling with an older woman.
Yep.
This one who sucks his brains.
Yeah, that one's really...
They're going to have some thoughts on that one.
Yeah, because that one is in fact predatory and very, very disgusting.
And I knew I could get Jessi into that conversation.
Oh, yeah.
So easy to do.
Yeah, for sure. People seem to want Waxana to return and cause issues.
He's got one more episode.
Oh, I forget which episode is that.
It's the same one with the Muse. She's back in the Muse, I believe.
Oh, is she back for that one? Oh, I forgot. Okay. Because I was trying to remember. I was like, I thought she was in another one.
Yes, she's in the Muse.
Okay. Because is she
Lana Troy, pregnant with a son, asked Odo to help her escape her husband.
Okay. Yeah. That'll be wild. There'll be thoughts on that, I'm sure. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We could tell her that the actress will keep returning. We don't have to tell them that half of it's just in voiceovers is the voice of the computer and narrators.
I mean, we could maybe tell them eventually. Okay. I still want to find some random TOS TNG episode and have them watch it just to fuck with them.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, we could do an old TNG episode with Waxano. I mean, she's horny in a lot of those. The Naked Wedding one.
That's what I was just thinking. The one where I believe it's Angel 1. No, Haven. It's Haven. That's the one. Have them watch Haven. Because that's the one where Troy's betrothed to the other guy.
Yeah, I was thinking of the one where she's gonna get married. And they're like, isn't there one where she's supposed to get married and there's an argument over nudity and her trying to get Picard to be naked?
Yeah, but I still think Haven would be the more fun one because there's that whole scene where the two families are having dinner and she storms out and Data goes, "Can we have more of the petty bickering, please?"
Yeah.
So I think having them watch Haven would be much more entertaining.
Because part of it just because it's funsies, and 2, it'll confuse the fuck out of them. Like, why are we watching this?
Maybe before Muse, we have them watch Haven.
All right. Do we need to make a note of that? Will either of us remember?
Because Muse is season 4, late season.
Yeah.
I'll make a note.
Okay.
And yes, we'll have them watch Haven as a lead into the Muse. And Jesse's gonna hate every goddamn one of us. It's gonna be glorious.
No, it'd be really shitty if we made him watch an episode of like Voyager, the salamander episode. No reason, no
Threshold.
context. That's
How can you
funny.
tie in Threshold to DS9? I'm thinking about this now. I'm pondering how we can do this. So while I think about that, I think that wraps up our discussion for Fascination because there really ain't much to discuss with this one.
No,
As
there
we
isn't.
mentioned, we will be back next week with Past Tense Part 1 and 2. Until then, I have been Blake, and with me has been
Emily.
Have a good night, y'all.